Good day everyone, I'm Juliana Mayrais Dagar from Bped 2C, and now I'll be tackling about the background history, people, culture, and dances of Argentina. So to start with, let me first state to you the objective. So first is to understand the background and history of Argentina. Next is to know the people, culture, and dances of Argentina. And then to execute the basic steps of Argentine tango. And lastly is to perform the Argentine tango. So let's now move on to its history and background. So, it is said that Argentina is a vast country located in the southern part of South America. It is the 8th largest country in the world and the 2nd largest country in South America after Brazil. It's about 1/3 the size of the United States. So, obviously, Argentina was actually quite a large country. So on year 1516, the Spanish arrived in the person of explorer and navigator Juan Diaz de Solias. While on year 1776, they formed the royalty of Rio de la Plata. On year 1806, British forces arrived the land, but their invasion failed. So that boosted the confidence of the colonists who sought independence from Spain. Buenos Aires formally declared independence from Spain on July 9, 1816, led by Jose de San Martin. So, for the information of everyone, Buenos Aires is the capital of Argentina. Well, on year 1853, they finally established a constitution and a formal national government in 1861. In the early 1900s, Argentina flourished, becoming one of the world's wealthiest nations. And lastly, in year 1946, Perón was elected as the president. His famous wife, Eva Perón, was very involved in his rise to power and also helped women to get the right to vote in their country. So let's now move on to the people of Argentina. So, unlike Mexico and South American countries such as Peru and Ecuador, Argentina has a fewer native people and a large population which came from Europe. The population is comprised as much as 95% of people of European descent, mostly from Italy, Spain, and Germany. Much of the native population died from disease brought in by Europeans. So that was the reason why there's a large population of European people in Argentina rather than the native ones. Nearly half of the population lives in the area around Buenos Aires. So Buenos Aires has been called the Paris of South America because of the European influences. And lastly, soccer is the favorite sport in Argentina. So, moving on to the culture of Argentina. So, what is the culture of Argentina? So, it is said that the Argentina's culture and traditions are a unique blend of Latin American indigenous traditions and European customs. So, while Spain gained an early foothold in the country, Italian immigration in the 19th century added a Mediterranean flair to the culture and especially the cuisine. So next is, what is Argentina well known for? So worldwide, Argentina is probably most famous for the invention of the tango. The dance originating in Buenos Aires in the 19th century blends European, Caribbean, and African influences. So Argentina is also known for the popularity of Eva Perón, wife of the former president Juan Perón and the subject of the smash Broadway musical Evita. In the literature world, Jorge Luis Borges is Argentina's most famous author, who pioneered the literary genre of magical realism along with other Latin American writers. So, next is what is the traditional clothing of Argentina? So, Argentina is a modern country with cosmopolitan urban areas. So, most people dress similarly to others you'd see in major cities across the globe. However, there are some traditional clothing items in Argentinian culture that set it apart, including the cowboy costume worn by gauchos and woolen ponchos in a wide variety of colors and patterns. Argentinians are also fond of wide-brimmed hats to protect their face and eyes from sunlight, and traditional footwear called alpargatas, which are durable shoes made from colorful patterned canvas with rope or rubber soles. So these are the traditional clothings of Argentina. Lastly, what is the typical food in Argentina? So, Argentinian cuisine relies heavily on asado, which refers to both barbecued meats and the social events centered around them. Nothing finishes off a savory meat-based milk like a dessert made with dulce de leche, a sweet spread made from milk and sugar that's similar to a smooth, creamy caramel. So, food is really a big part of the culture in Argentina, with the most common and popular being which is asado. So this beef barbecue has many traditions and dates back to the time of the gauchos. Beef is a huge part of the Argentine culture as well as other parts of South America. Asado is a very important component of the culture of Argentina, and the traditions and customs surrounding this cuisine are still very much alive until today. As for beverages, Argentina is a burgeoning source of world-class wines, specifically Malbec, which boasts a spicy berry-based flavor due to the smaller grapes that grow in tight clusters. So that's how Malbec wine of Argentina looks like. So let's now move on to the dances of Argentina. So the Argentine tango has its roots planted in 19th century at Argentina. In the cities of Buenos Aires and Montevideo, several dance forms and several musical styles fused to create the dance and music that is still known today as the tango. When most people think of Argentina, they think of tango. Because tango is one of the most well-known types of dances in the world, and Argentina is famously the home of tango. So if you ever go to Argentina, the streets will likely be littered with tango cafes and performances. And you better believe the locals all know how to dance the tango. So, the long worldwide history of tango all begins with the history of Argentine tango. In Argentina is where it all began, by mixing sounds and movements from several dance and cultural traditions. So now let's move on to the 8 basic steps of Argentine tango. So I'll be showing you a short video tutorial on how to execute the 8 basic steps of Argentine tango. So first, I'll be showing the follower step, which is for girls, and to be followed by the leader step, which is for boys. So we're gonna step forward 1, side 2, back 3, 4, cross left over right 5, back 6, side 7, and 8. So now is for the leader step.
A small back step, 1, side 2, forward step 3, forward step 4, 5, small forward step 6, side 7, and change of weight 8. And we have small step back 1, side step 2, forward 3, forward 4, cross the lady, change the weight 6, 7, change weight 8. And from here you can do it again if you wish.